Thank you so much for joining us in this event today. We wanted to share with you BrowserStack's insights about website scanner, what we are working around that, about our research, about our conversations with our customers also on what kind of problems that they are looking for us to solve, as well as what we are doing with AI, right? How we are able to solve for one of the most key assets for any product in the world, right? Which is the website. Before we start off, a few quick housekeeping items, right? This today's session will run anywhere between 45 to 60 minutes. We do have 15 to 20 minutes at the end to take all of your questions. Also, please do find the Q&A section in the Zoom window here. We have people who can answer those questions live, and we're going to take some questions towards the end as well, which Karthikeya will answer for us. The session will be recorded. The link will be made available to you in about 24 to 48 hours. And this presentation will be shared with you as well. For the sake of no interruption, you all will be muted, but you can obviously interact with us through the Q&A session, through the Q&A section, as I was saying before. Quick run through of the agenda that we want to cover today. We obviously want to talk about BrowserStack's website operations, where we have lots of content that goes through, right? It is a breadth heavy, breadth heavy product that we have. We want to talk about issues beyond functionality that people like to test on their websites. We want to talk about how coded automation happens both in BrowserStack and with our customers today, and how we are trying to solve that. We do have a very good live demo planned for you guys, which Karthikeya will present to you towards the end, and post which we will take your questions live. Just a quick introduction. My name is Sairam. I work in the product growth team. I handle a couple of products for us, website scanner being one, test management being the other, and also a couple of AI products that we are delving into. I mainly look after the marketing and GTM aspects of these products. And with me, I have Karthikeya. Karthikeya, if you could quickly introduce yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Sairam. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining in. I am Karthike. I'm the product manager for Website Scanner. And my journey has taken me from building products in the media tech domain to product strategy team at BrowserStack, and all leading to what we are discussing today. And I'm incredibly excited to walk you guys through the amazing features that we are building at Website Scanner and how they can help you.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks a lot, Karthikeya. And yeah, with that, let's jump right in, right? Before we could talk about the problems that can happen in a website, if you could shed some light on what we do across website experience in BrowserStack, what our scale is, if you could give a quick overview of that, that'd be great for us to set context.
Sure. So, BrowserStack started back in 2011. From there on, we've launched a lot of new products, right? And the scale that we've hit today is more than 10,000 of pages that the website has today. And at an average, the monthly views that we get on our website is around 7 million. So it's a huge scale wherein we kind of see a lot of traction, and it's a very critical asset for the organization.
Right, awesome. And also to just for the audience, just to give you a glimpse of this, right? BrowserStack right now has over 14 products, which means the number of websites that the number of pages that we handle itself is, like you see on the screen, it is 10,000 plus, where we have individual teams handling each of this product content. And it is not like we have one sprint where we ship all of the updates together, right? All of the websites on all of the products handle it separately. And Karthika, if you could continue what you were talking about, if you could tell us how quality happens for these products as well. What usually goes on for them?
So I would talk about the SDLC cycle that probably happens for the website operations. So it typically starts with requirements that are shared from the marketing team or the product team. And then these requirements are further worked upon and developed by the team. Post that, there's a QA process wherein we check for the hygiene and sanity of the website. And then these are pushed to production. Specifically, if we talk about the QA aspect of it, so it's a mix of manual and automated testing that we do, wherein we validate layouts, the functional elements, the performance of the page, the responsiveness of the page, etc.
Got it, understood. Thanks for bringing up the split between automation and manual testing, right? Like there is one kind of pages that we do manually, there's another that we do automation, but about coverage and automation. And Karthik, just wanted to spend a little more time here. What kind of pages do we handle today in BrowserStack, and what testing happens on them? What is a split like?
So it's a diverse set of pages that we have as part of our website, right? There are core pages wherein there are functionalities using which the user who's visiting that website can interact. And these are pages like home page, pricing page, product pages, etc. Wherein there is some interaction. So for testing these type of pages, because these have user interactions and these are very critical to the business, there's automation testing that is done to ensure that these pages are functional at all times. Then there's another set of pages which are more static in nature and have minimal interactions with the user. These could be the blog pages, the documentation pages that again need some form of hygiene check, but again, they do not need a full throttle automation.
Right, awesome, understood. You touched a little on the functionality of the pages itself, but beyond functional testing itself, what are we usually looking at as a user also and as a website creator also?
So, like beyond functional testing, right? There are many aspects that are very critical to the business. First would be things like visually, is your website consistent across different pages that are there? It should not be a very broken experience for the user in terms of what they see on one page versus the other. Second aspect that we care about is accessibility, whether the website is accessible or not. Then we also care about if there are any broken navigation links or broken CTAs that are present in the website. If they are there, we want to identify them, rectify them at the earliest. And there are other areas like performance of the page. Is it up to mark? Or is the web page responsive enough? Is the UI breaking if we view the website on different viewports? So these are some of the aspects that we probably care about. Apart from that, we also care about the content hygiene of the website also, right? In terms of, are there any spelling or grammatical errors that are being published, because we want to catch them, because that's very critical to the brand reputation.
Correct. Thanks a lot for the last point, actually, because I can relate to it because see, I work in marketing, right? So I know how much budget is allocated into getting a single customer also to the website. And once they do, and they clearly see, for example, like you said, a grammatical error or spelling error, right? Instantly turns a customer off. Even as a customer, I'm telling you, if I went to a website of a company that I want to become a customer of, and I saw a very silly spelling error, it always stays in my head, right? That hygiene wasn't done, and it is a big cost to the brand credibility itself. And to bring that customer back to your website, you will have to spend more money, and that is just another customer who has bounced before you could even make an interaction, right? So these are things that we should really care about. Uh, so thanks a lot for bringing that up, Karthikeya. And since you were talking about other issues beyond functionality, you briefly touched on them. Can you like delve a little deeper? Maybe give us a few examples so that we can visually understand also, right? Like what could happen to a website if these are not checked?
Sure. So, for example, today, let me start with responsive and visual issues, right? Today, because the devices using which the end consumers of a website are so fragmented, it becomes very difficult for any business to probably get the desired experience that they want to share with their customer, until and unless your website performs correctly on different devices. And it offers a very consistent experience, because that's the first thing a user experiences. So that's one of the things. Then there are compliances like accessibility, which are very critical to businesses because they want to be inclusive to all sorts of users. So that is another thing. Then when it comes to the performance aspect of it, right, we've all been there where we've probably used a website or web application whose performance is not up to the mark, and it kind of deteriorates us from using that product again. So again, this too is a very critical aspect that businesses really care about. And apart from then, like I spoke about the content errors and broken link and images, these also hamper the experience because let's take example of the broken links, right? The user has shown intent and wanted to explore more regarding something, right? And that link does not work, so it's again a very bad experience for them.
Right, right. Understood. So these were some of the issues that go beyond functionality also. But even in functional issues, you know how SDETs are right now. Almost every team has an SDET and they can code. I mean, they can make all of this automated beyond manual testing itself. What is stopping QA teams across or software teams across to just make everything automated? Why do we need a point solution like this?
So basically, if initially if your website is of small scale, right, it makes sense that you probably use automated tests to test out everything that's out there. But as your website scales, right, it becomes the ROI on the automation effort that you're spending is very low because one, a lot of these pages that the website has is very static and has very limited interactions. So again, the ROI goes down. The second problem is that automation tests, even though they probably can cover a lot of pages, but they are not very stable, right? So that creates a problem. And again, not all teams have that bandwidth or the priority to automate everything that they have, right? So again, all of this kind of forces everyone to have a good mix of what they should automate versus what they shouldn't.
Understood, understood. Now that you said about what they should and automate and what they shouldn't, earlier we saw a split for BrowserStack. We have these core pages, which is 50 plus. The ratio for us is almost 1:9, sometime 1:10. Is this ratio, I mean, is this ratio standardized? Like, what do you think other folks, the customers that we speak to, other companies, what kind of split are we seeing and how much automation effort versus how much manual effort would we be solving for?
So again, it depends on the scale of the organization, right? Like I mentioned, if your website is some handful web pages, in that case, and the team has the automation maturity, right? Which is a very small percentage. So customers typically then invest in automation. Otherwise, mostly as the scale evolves, uh, organizations move from manual testing to automation testing, that to prioritizing which pages they should be testing.
Right, right. Understood. So yeah, that's our problem space, and that is where we're working on with a 1:9 split for a company like BrowserStack, which has scaled quite a bit over the last 2 to 3 years. We cannot have automation for that kind of scale, and we're spending a lot of time, and we're not going to get back that much out of it. For which we, as in Karthike and Vivek, whom we have on the call, are working on a product in BrowserStack, and we are calling it BrowserStack Website Scanner. And as the title of the presentation also goes, we are trying to solve it with AI. So Karthike, if you could spend some time over here, tell us what this product is about, how are we incorporating AI, and what is the direct benefit that the customer might see from this? That'd be great for us.
Sure. So, like we've already spoken about, right? There are so many things to test across different pages that a website has. So what we wanted to do is build a very easy to use solution wherein there's no setup required. You just key in your website URL, and based on that, we will perform certain checks in the background. There's seven checks that we support today. Additional checks that we'll be supporting in the future that we're working towards. But again, the idea is we perform those checks on those web pages and give you a comprehensive report in terms of if there are any issues and how can we probably help improve the quality of the website. Now, coming to the AI part that you'd asked, right? So we also have AI agents that we've incorporated or built as part of the website scanner. The first one is for the accessibility checks that we perform. So that's the accessibility issue detection agent. So typically, what most of the tools, accessibility tools, offer or detect as issues, right? These lack any human interaction or a human context for using the website or the web page that's being analyzed. With our agent, we are able to detect issues that are more suited from a human context point of view, and this will help us make your this will help all our customers, right, make their web pages, websites more accessible. The second agent that we have today is the accessibility remediation agent. So apart from just discovering issues that have been identified, we also have an agent that helps you understand the root cause of the issue that's been identified, and it also helps you get the exact fixes that you should probably be implementing so that this accessibility issue goes away. The third agent that we support today is the visual review agent. uh, what it typically does is, because as part of the visual testing, any small pixel change that happens as part of the visual regression leads to a lot of noise in terms of whether a page has a visual issue or not. So this agent helps you narrow and prioritize the most effective differences that have been identified, so that you can eliminate or reduce the noise and focus on things that really matter.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Karthik. And also, like, I had a couple of points over here as well about how, especially for marketing teams, right? Marketing teams do have scanners that are available, such as SEMrush, which are very specifically catered towards them. What, as BrowserStack, for in our team, what we identified was that kind of a one-stop tool doesn't exist for quality folks, for testers primarily, for website especially. This is one kind of a, later we will see in the demo, this is that kind of a product where you will come in, enter your website. It could be gold.com, zomato.com, whatever. You will enter your website and you will quickly get almost 20 plus checks very soon. For so far we support 7, and they're going well as well. And we want it to be your one-stop shop for all kinds of scan that can happen on a website. So yeah, thanks, Karthikeya, for that. If you can also talk about the other parts, like what domains inside websites do people test for with websites? Can that be great?
So when it comes to our customers, right, it's a diverse set of use cases for which our customers are using the product, right? It ranges from news and media, e-commerce, brand marketing, e-learning, or booking platforms, etc. So it's a good mix where users are finding great value out of the product. And internally, also, we've adopted this product to ensure that we have the first-hand experience of the challenges our customers face when they're building a website or managing a website. So our internal teams also have been using the product, and I'm more than happy to announce that in the initial phase of this product, also we've been able to have a 60% gain in productivity. So looks like a promising start for us. And again, there's a similar feedback that we've received from our customers as well.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. And also, just one thing over there, internal teams have been able to do this also because we are able to schedule scans as well. Every time they don't need to come back to the product to do it. And of course, we can see this on the product. I'll stop sharing my screen. Karthika, if you can take control and walk us through the demo of website scanner as
Sure,
promised.
sure. Awesome. I hope my screen's visible.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, what you see on the screen right now is the landing page of the website scanner. And what you see here is all the scans that have been initiated in the system for testing different domains. Now, for example, I'd like to walk you through the process of how do you first set up a scan, and then probably we'll come back and see what are the different kind of issues and how would a report look to you typically, right? So it's a very simple process. Like we said, we wanted to be make it very easy for anyone to get started. So all you got to do is, like, for example, you want to go to gold, you want to say, I want to test gold.com, and you add the URL. If there are multiple URLs you want to test, you can keep adding them. To make this more scalable, we also have support for sitemap, wherein you can provide the domain URL or the sitemap URL, using which we will fetch the relevant URLs that are mentioned in the sitemap. Additionally, there's a crawler that can crawl your entire website and fetch pages for doing these changes, for doing performing these checks, right? So these are the three ways we can simply set up. And once you have the, like, I'll just go again and say, once I add these pages and once I've identified what all pages need to be tested, I can just click on create scan, and I'm good to go. The system will uh, analyze the pages that have been marked here, and it will give you a report. Like, for example, this is how a snapshot of the report today looks like. There are some 29 accessibility issues. There are 7 unreviewed visual changes that have been identified. There are 4 broken links that have been identified. There are 5 performance issues that have been identified for this report. Uh, Again, 7 unreviewed responsive changes in terms of how the UI looks across different resolutions. Then there's a website form scan, which identifies and checks if your forms are opening and submitting correctly. And then we also have a spell checker, which would typically check if the content, if the spellings and the grammar is appropriate for the content that has been pushed on the web page. So I'll just quickly walk you guys through each of these reports individually, so that you have an understanding of how issues are being flagged here. So first, I'll start with the accessibility report, wherein you will see the accessibility score. You will also get an idea of what the issue summary is, how many critical, serious, moderate issues are open, which pages have been affected by these accessibility issues, if there are specific components that have been affected, that affected because of the issues that are identified. And you also get a view of which of the guidelines, right? Accessibility guidelines does the page conform to. So the ones in the greens that you see, they're compliant with WCAG 2.0 AA, while the ones that are in red, they aren't, right? And you will also be able to see a snapshot of whether the accessibility issues have increased, decreased, or the is the effort that you're putting in, right, as part of fixing accessibility issues, is that improving the quality of your website. And again, now I'd quickly want to probably take you through how do issues look for accessibility. So here you have some 14 issues listed. So there are two views basically using which you can view these issues. One is you can group the issues by the issue type. Like, for example, frames must have accessible names is one issue type. So you can go through these and see, okay, there's one page and there are 7 issues that have been highlighted. So when you're looking at this, you'll get a snapshot of where exactly this issue lies. You'll also find details on how to identify this particular uh, element in your page. There's another view wherein this was the view wherein you could group your issues by issue type. There's another view wherein you can group issues by the vocab guidelines that they're violating. So based on that, you can just click on on any of the vocab guidelines and then again see the issue that is there. Next, I would want to probably also talk about how to fix it. Is also something that the remediation steps that we spoke about in the earlier part of the demo, is where we also show, like, how you can remediate this particular issue. So that's also taken care of. Now I'll move on to the next check that we perform, that is visual test, wherein we can see that the originally the page that was scanned probably the last time, we had found a page not found or return home. But again, the next time this was found, there are some visual changes that have been detected on the page. So manually now you can validate, okay, probably this was the correct change that's intended here, and you can approve these changes. Again, there are multiple pages where you can see this, and you can see this across different browsers. The With this, I'll move to the next report. That is the uh, this is the broken link report. So, as part of the broken link checks that we do, we identify not just broken links but also broken resources. Like for example, there's a broken image that's not visible to the user here. So we highlight that. Also, if in case there are components or buttons that are supposed to work but aren't working on click, right? We do flag those, and we give selectors to identify where exactly do you can you find those and on what page. So this is briefly about the broken link checker that we have. Next is the performance checker, wherein you can see the performance of a page. And for this example, things look good in most of the areas. There are certain areas where we flagged there are certain improvements that we need to do. There's another example that I had pulled up, wherein there's one web page where the performance score has come out to be low. So you would want to debug and understand why exactly is this how why exactly is this a problem, and how do we improve the performance of of the page. So if we look at it, like the LCP, the largest contentful pane, is beyond the recommended threshold here. Same is the case with the total blocking time, right? And even the first contentful paint could use some improvement, because there's scope for improvement there also. And we also highlight what opportunities you have in terms of like maybe you can reduce unused JavaScript that can help load your pages faster. Then there's also a section wherein you can see what all audits have passed for this particular page, right? So in a nutshell, you get an understanding of how you can work on improving the performance of of this particular web page also. Now coming to a responsive scanner, similar to how we saw it for visual, the only change that you see here is you'll see options for viewing this across different viewports as well. Like how does it look for a 120 1280p pixel versus a 375 pixel. You'll see how is your web page rendering here, and if there are any visual inconsistencies, those will get flagged here. Next comes the website form scanner, wherein you can see that there are some 6 forms that were identified, and out of those, some of those could not be submitted is what the system has flagged, even though they opened. So I would want to understand what exactly happened here. So I probably click on one of these issues. Let me just open this one probably. Yeah. So I see a snapshot of this form, and I see like this the system was unable to submit this form. The submit button was clicked, but nothing happened on the page. Like there was no interaction with the backend that could confirm whether this was a success or a failure, right? So this is the website form scanner. It will analyze all your forms that are there. And the last one is the spell check, which will check for spelling errors that are there. For example, if you look at it, the spelling of consensus was wrongly flagged here. Equipment was also wrongly published on the page, and it's identified. It gives you a context of where exactly you can find this spelling error. And of course, at the top, you see the page URL where this lies. Similarly, for grammar issues, you will see what's the affected text and the context. So this way you will be able to identify issues across different categories in order to improve the health of your website. Now I want to come back and show you some of the settings. This was basically how do you set up your scan, how do you uh, you know view reports, understand issues. But I also wanted to briefly talk about the advanced capabilities that we have as part of this scan creation. So when you're creating a scan, like for example, I put in gold.com here, I can go to the settings and enable a recurring scan. So if I want to run this weekly at a particular day, at a particular time, I can do that. I have control for that. Then we have settings for getting notifications for scan reports on Slack. So you can integrate your Slack here and get instantaneous reporting on your Slack. Then we have capability for testing pages behind authentication. So basically, you can set up your authentication here. Like I'll just show you. So you can create a scan name, configuration name. I'm calling it test auth. I'll have to provide the login URL. I'll have to provide the username, password, and also I will have to provide the selector for clicking on the username, the password, and the submit button. So this way, if you want to test pages that are behind authentication, you will be able to test uh, such pages. We have support for form-based authentication, basic authentication, multi-page authentication, and also we support we are about to support multi-factor authentication also with email OTP. So that should come out sometime soon. Right. Next is if you have a use case around you know you want to dismiss certain banners based on cookie configuration. So we have a functionality wherein you can enter the domain name and add the cookies. Based on this, uh, you can control like how the scan runs, because this use case particularly came to us when users had such banners on their UI and they were doing visual testing, leading to a lot of issues probably getting hidden under that banner, right? So they actually wanted to test the elements that were behind the banner. Same goes for accessibility issues, etc. So this can help you in such use cases. And we also have support for local testing. This is particularly for use cases wherein your lower environments like the development and the testing environments are behind VPN and are not publicly accessible. So using the local binary, you can set up local testing, and the system should be seamlessly able to access. Uh, yeah. So yeah, apart from that, we have scan specific settings as well, wherein you can configure which, like for accessibility, which guideline do you want to detect issues against. In case of visual scan, if you want to do layout testing, that is what you can do. For responsive scans, if you want to specify what resolutions you want to test, again, you can do that, right? For broken link scans, if you want to enable screenshots, you can do that. So again, yeah, as we are expanding to more and more use cases, we're growing both in terms of the number of checks we do for your website, and also the different use cases for which you would require this. So yeah, that's pretty much from my side on the demo.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Karthikeya. That's great. Through the demo also, we had lots of questions pouring in, which is good. Uh, Also, on your chat, you can see a link through which you can quickly register for a free trial. Maybe you can try the product, have more questions, shoot us with them. Please do reach out to our support team as well, and our sales team. We can get in touch with you for a demo, POC, sale, whatever. But thanks a lot, Karthikeya. And move on to the Q&A. You can check the Q&A questions. You can see what is most relevant. But I think before you go there, there is one question I thought was interesting about performance checker. So the question was about whether or not we test the response times or we stress test the website.
Got it. So what we do right now is only measuring the performance of the front end, right? We are not really doing performance testing of the application or the stress testing wherein there are concurrent users doing that load testings for the website. So it's basically on a very normal day where there's not a lot of load, how quickly does your website load? That is what we are analyzing and flagging issues on.
Got it. Got it. Understood. Understood. You can go ahead and look through the questions and see which ones will add value to our presentation.
I think there's a similar question on what you asked, like, does this replace tools like K6 or JMeter performance test? No, this tool, again, I'll reiterate, this tool primarily measures the front-end performance. We do have a separate load testing product of from BrowserStack that can help you with performance testing. But again, this particular tool is specifically for the website performance. I'm testing two sites, both are e-commerce sites, but one is in WordPress, other one is in Shopify. Is any chance that I get more issue in WordPress site, and why? So, to answer this, like there's a possibility, like because the underlying tech stack, right, for both the platform is different, and the way they built out their application is different, right? So, in order to have a good coverage, right, it would be recommended that you scan for issues across both, and based on that, where the platform where you find more issues, that is where you probably focus on initially, and then again you build your testing strategy accordingly. Does this cover functional testing or just static ones? So, like the product is capable of testing any page, whether it's a static page or whether it has functionality embedded into it. But the range of checks that the product does, right, is what I showed you. There are two functional checks that we do primarily today. One is the identifying broken links, broken CTAs if they're present in the page, and the second is in terms of the website forms, which should be functioning correctly but are not. Right. So that is what the product can help you with. For visual changes, how are we comparing? Like we need to compare it with Figma or comparing from old website code. So currently, we create a baseline based on whatever scan you create. Like the first time the scan runs, we create a baseline. Post that, any subsequent scan that is run, right, it is compared against that baseline. However, we are also building support for Figma integration so that the comparison can directly happen with uh, the Figma designs that are there.
Awesome. Kartika, there's one question about Chrome and Firefox being present. People want to check for Safari and Edge as well. Is this something we are building?
So yeah, we've extended support for Safari, and we'll also be extending support for it's in our roadmap, and we are trying to prioritize based on the requests that are coming in.
Awesome. And also there was that so in visual and accessibility changes, we also suggest fixes, right? The tool does suggest some fixes. There's one question about whether or not the XPath will be given for the fix, or is it just a suggestion?
So the way to look at it is we provide exactly on what page the issue lies. We give a selector to identify the particular element where the issue lies, and the fix is pertaining to that element. So that's how we should be looking at it.
Got it. I'm scrolling through a few more.
There, I see there are a lot of questions in terms of can it scan one page or the whole website. So yeah, like I showed as part of the demo, right? Uh, that we have all modes to support. Like as part of the manual mode, if you want to selectively check for certain websites, web pages, you can do that. In case you want to scan across your entire website, right, you have the sitemap option as well as the crawler that you can use for gaining maximum coverage.
Right. Awesome. Katya, there's one question about how to set up a new project. I think there is just a start scan button on the right top corner, right? That is
There's
how to set up uh,
correct.
projects. And is there any capability to export these reports for the dev team, or do they need a license as well?
So we do have support for exporting certain reports, and we are expanding it to across all the checks that we're performing today. Apart from this, there's also support for public shareable links of reports, wherein you can share those links with other team members who probably aren't using the product but would want to review those reports. So we have support for that as well.
Awesome.
So there's one question. There are cases where we will have to test both staging and prod sites for differences in current deployment. Uh, is this possible? Yes, this is possible. We have a capability to, compare the scan outcomes with a lower environment, like with the production, the compare production with the lower environment. We do have support for that. How will reCAPTCHAs impact the form check? We are currently figuring out how do we solve for the capture use case. Again, it's on our priority list and we'll be working on that. As of now, it's not there. What is the ideal time to check one page along with all 7 features? So this would ideally depend on your release cadence, right? How frequently changes are being pushed. So based on on that release cadence, right? You should be testing for these changes. If 2FA is set for login, can that be part of login regression test? Yes, we do support, like I mentioned, right? We do support MFA with email OTP. So you can do that as part of the scan.
There's one question about Visual Scanner. Apart from highlighting areas that have changed, can BrowserStack also mention what has changed to make it easier and to like fix that, right? I think that capability is there.
Yeah. So we have the visual review agent that will help you reduce that noise, and you can actually work on the priority issues as compared to figuring out your way through the noise.
Right. Folks, just wanted to reiterate the both the presentation and the recording will be made available to you via email in the next 24 to 48 hours. I understand that a lot of you have that doubt. We will make them available to you for sure. This session is being recorded for the same purpose.
What's the difference between Percy and website scanner? So yeah, Percy is supported with along with coded automation for complex web applications. Whereas as we saw as part of the demo, website scanner it's for no code visual testing per se.
So I think we can take one last question, Karthikeya. It is about how we train our AI agents. Do we use previous results and leverage it with scanning, or like how does it adopt for different websites? What happens?
So we have our own internal training sets that we use for training our AI models, and that is how we've been working on it. And that's typically how we are using it. We don't use any of the customer data per se for training our models. It's just our internal training data that we've been using for building and improving these models, these agents.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, thank you. With that, I think there are lots more questions coming in along with the email that we're going to send with the recording and the slides. We're going to consolidate similar questions. That is what that those are the kind of questions that we have left on the table. Similar questions for which we will send you a summary of it to you in your email. Yes, thanks a lot for joining, and we will see you in the next webinar.